Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Today's video is on how humour helps in a dementia unit, and indeed it does. When there's humour, what it does is it switches the thinking from the dementia stress pattern of thinking to a more present moment pattern of thinking. It just clears the head, so to speak. As we all know, when we have a good laugh, our experience is completely different after that. All the fear of the future and all the problems of finance and mortgage and whatever else is going on, pain of the past and what someone said to me that hurt me, completely vanishes when I find that I'm into some joke or some humour or some other sort of experience that someone's explaining that I find really funny. Humour completely evaporates negativity, basically, because it is such a positive experience. It's one of our favourite experiences. That's why we love friendship so much, because it's within friendship, really, that you can have so much fun. And humour and laughter is a big part of that. And all of that is a big thing in a dementia unit. So that's why it's so important for the residents to make friends and create friendships with each other in the unit, because then they can, chat and have a laugh and, whether, others may not find the joke very funny, but at least they do. And actually, dementia residents find themselves funny. Often the public or relatives find the whole thing quite tragic, but the dementia residents themselves don't. When they forget something, who my husband was, or, when was I born, or whatever it is, or can't find my room, or this or that. It's stressful in a sense, but also they can, in certain circumstances, often find the humour in it. Because they're all in the same boat, they're all going through the same thing, they're all trying to help each other. If one remembers and the other doesn't, then they'll try and help the other one remember. If they remember, for example, the Queen's coronation, or that other Edward, was it, the abdication. If they remember things like this and the other person doesn't, then they'll help them with answers and such like. And if they're a similar age to each other, and they can see that, they know that. If they know that they were born in 1925, say, they can say to their friend, well, look, you're the same age as me. You're probably born the same time as well. So, this way, this banter and the humour and accepting their situation and, that camaraderie and fun, lots of fun can be had in a dementia unit when the person is settled. Now, even if they're not settled, even if they're a bit anxious or a bit uptight or depressed or flat, not major high-level stuff, but moderate down to low, if they're sitting next to someone who's got a good sense of humour and who's quite funny, chances are it will rub off onto them, won't it? And of course, if it's, a man who they like, and often, there's generally 1 or 2 men in the unit, often only being 5 men out of 30 in the unit, by the way. But there's generally 1 or 2 men in the unit who have a good sense of humour, and they're generous enough to go around, with light banter, light humour, to rally the women around, to give them a better day and all the rest of it. Even their good mornings can be quite funny. I remember there was this one really lovely man, and he was from the army, and he used to, dress him, he didn't have a fantastic wardrobe, so he couldn't really dress himself up, but he just put on his t-shirts, and he did have track pants, I have to say, but he had a good figure, slim, fit, strong, from the army, put on his t-shirt and his, track pants, good erect posture, walked briskly. Oh, hello, dearie, hello, ladies, hello, everyone, give them a pat on the back and shake their hand, and often he'd kiss their hand and, everything good, lovely to see you, good day today, we're in for a good, yes, it's shining, lovely weather, no worries, no problems, you'll be fine, you'll be okay, dear, everyone, we all live here, we're all fine, we're all cared for, everything's good. I mean, look, it was really just banter, light banter, but he was charming with it, and he was generous, and he was kind, and he was doing all this to be able to boost the women and their depressions and anxieties and things. And at the same time, he was developing a social extrovert, not theatrical really, but slightly, personality, which actually buoyed his spirits as well. He had a terrible present memory, terrible past, correct that, a terrible present memory in terms of finding his toothbrush and shaver and things, but a fabulous past memory. He could recall everything and a really good knowledge on history. Anyway, so he was always around. There was always also another woman. She was a former school teacher. She had a really good sense of humour and very funny. Everyone found her funny, staff, relatives, residents, but she did have a barbed wit at times and could make fun of people in order to get a cheap laugh, which was not good, and she knew it. But what happened was that this actually changed because she became friends with a lovely lady, charming, lovely woman who was quite introvert actually, but when she did say something, it was profound. And she was always trying to tone her friend down because she felt her humour used to be a bit sort of, sarcastic at times. And she'd often say to her, I think you should, tone it down a bit. But this woman couldn't. She knew she wasn't really doing the right thing. She said that to me, that I should really try and tone myself down, but she couldn't. But actually, she made friends with the man, the army guy, who was generous and charming with all the women. And having the lovely female friend and now the lovely male friend, she sort of felt that she couldn't carry on with her sort of wicked ways, so to speak, with both of them on right and left of her. And she actually started to make quite an effort. She said to me, look, I'm really trying to tone myself down. And she did. She actually did. She said, look, no, I need to be more tolerant, I mustn't make fun of people, and she really, drew on that restraint and that effort. And she changed that sarcasm, reduced so much. It was so helpful for staff and residents because she could be quite intimidating and hurtful. But, after, I think it took her about 3, 4, 5 months of effort, and she completely turned. That was incredible. So it can be done. Positive humour is important. It's really important that the humour is not patronising or sarcastic, or provoking. We must not provoke people, especially, residents do provoke each other at times, especially when they're angry, but in a sense, that's their own community, isn't it? I suppose they have a right to do that in a sense, but it's very important for outsiders, so to speak, or semi-outsiders like relatives or staff not to provoke residents, because it's so important that doesn't happen. Because if you damage trust with dementia residents, as with anyone, but if you damage that trust, it's very difficult to regain that trust and be able to work with the person to help them in all the ways that they need, to be able to settle their anger and anxiety and depression and all those other things. So humour needs to be positive and healthy and, fun. Fun is a big thing in a dementia unit. There's, dementia units are actually very entertaining places. as long as the humour is positive, and done with the right motives, then it's very healthy, very healing, very helpful. It can help lift people out of depression. It can help, reduce the anxiety of others. When you have a good laugh, all that tension and stress and anxiety just sort of fades away, and you're left in a lovely place, aren't you, after a good laugh? It actually is the present moment, but in that lovely present moment, one can just chill out and enjoy being with one's friends and just be oneself, which is actually the whole purpose of it. So thank you for your likes and your subscriptions and support.